So let's talk a little bit about Totalbiscuit's view and opinion on the Gizmodo article on Gawker's network or former network. So Gizmodo put out a piece that you could see as a bit of a hit piece, and Totalbiscuit did his usual song and dance about how unethical Gawker is, for example, and therefore they shouldn't post articles or something like that. I find that slightly conflating two things to try to prove the kettle black, pot calling kettle black kind of thing. Because look, even if Gawker is morally reprehensible, that doesn't mean they shouldn't report on stuff like JonTron. They're free to report on whoever they want. And it seems like Totalbiscuit was quite intent on portraying it as, well, you're a bunch of hypocrites. And it's funny because he usually is against that. He will say, proving somebody a hypocrite doesn't really prove anything. It doesn't make you any more right. The opposite of wrong is not automatically right. In addition to this, he also attempted to do his best to portray anybody who held the sort of extremist opinions that JonTron did as a victim. He mentioned that they're on a lot of the people who read and play games are on the spectrum, or a disproportionate number of them. And my issue with this is because it doesn't address the fact that actually both sides have a good share of responsibility in not being extremists. You can't just say, well, this is a logical reaction from gamers just because the news article wrote a piece attacking them. That doesn't automatically make it okay for you to become like a white nationalist or a neo-Nazi. That doesn't compute. And Totalbiscuit, he seemed to be going to bat pretty hard for his core audience, which sort of makes sense because they're the audience he's talking to, so he obviously wants to market himself towards them. But I mean, coming from a more impartial standpoint, I think you really can't just say everything is Gawker's fault and just excuse everybody who has all of a sudden taken up perhaps extremist views, right? So in addition to that, defending the new media, as he calls it, he seems to think that the only reason that Gawker wrote this article is because they're trying to bring down the competition, which there's probably some truth in that. But you have to remember, these big media companies, they have money, a lot of them. If they want to get personality-driven content on board, they can do that. They can go ahead and offer contracts to a lot of up-and-coming popular content creators, and those content creators will definitely go along with it because they're going to be offered more money than they would make normally just working on their own brand. They'll obviously be holdouts like Totalbiscuit. He's not going to go ahead and do that, but there are going to be enough that do, and a corporation can definitely get behind personality-driven content, and we're seeing that all the time with influencer marketing. So this seemed to be more of a pet peeve of his that he wanted to drive home. He wanted to make the case that LOL, look at old media struggling to get along. They just can't get on board, so all they can do is lash out and attack. And when the truth is, as far as I can tell, with new media, we're only going to lose because it's a personality-driven sort of content creation, and that breeds even more tribalism. More people are just going to ignore the facts, the flaws of the people they don't like, and focus on attacking other personalities that sort of clash with them. So it's going to even be more tribalistic than when we had more impartial news media being delivered by sites such as Gawker, who, well, it was sensational and incorrect a lot of the time. There wasn't a cult following behind each and every single article. And what's going to happen is the new media is all going to get bought out by the old media because the old media has all the money. The new media, by and large, does not have the sort of money to just sort of fund themselves independently, because a lot of people are in it just to make money. And please do not make a mistake about it. Sure, there are plenty in there who also do it for the love of creating, but a lot of them are going to definitely go ahead and sign a contract that gives them 33% more per year. If they're making $100,000 a year right now and they're going to make $300,000, there are going to be plenty of people who sign up for that. So, sort of in summary, I found while Totalbiscuit definitely addressed some serious problems, he also glossed over some other ones, and I think he went to bat a little bit too hard for his core demographic and sort of ignored the deficits of doing so, and didn't overall present a fair enough picture of what's going on with new media and the like. But That's just my opinion.